I come from a small village where money was always tight. My name is Amina, and ever since our parents passed away, I have been the caretaker of my younger siblings, Fatima and Ahmed. Ensuring they received a good education became my top priority. Life was hard, but we managed with what little we had. Every morning, I would wake up early to work in the fields and then come back home to help them with their studies. However, our financial struggles grew worse. The burden of supporting my siblings through school became overwhelming. The bills kept piling up, and I had no way out. I tried everything I could think of to earn more money, but nothing worked. It was during this desperate time that I made the toughest decision of my life: to sell my only son, Malik. The thought of giving up Malik was unbearable. He was my joy and my hope, but I couldn't see any other way to ensure my siblings could continue their education. The guilt and grief tore me apart. Every night, I would cry myself to sleep, thinking about what I was about to do. I prayed for a miracle, but none came. One day, a wealthy couple from the city came to our village. They were looking to adopt a child, and they promised to give him a good life. The moment I signed those papers to hand over, Malik felt like a dagger through my heart. The look of betrayal in his eyes still haunts me. I watched as they took him away, feeling like a part of me was ripped away. The impact of my decision rippled through our family. Fatima and Ahmed were devastated. They couldn't understand why I had done it. They were angry and hurt, and our home was filled with tension. The bond we once had was shattered. I tried to explain to them that it was for their future, but it was no use. The void left by Malik could never be filled. As time went on, Fatima and Ahmed continued their education. They worked hard, and I was proud of them. But every achievement was bittersweet. I missed Malik every day. I would sit by the window, hoping to catch a glimpse of him, but he never came back. The pain of my decision never went away. Looking back now, the aftermath of that decision still weighs heavy on my conscience. The sacrifices I made were immense, and the lessons I learned were harsh. I have come to realize that no amount of money or education is worth sacrificing the love and bond of a family. It's a choice I regret every single day. One day, years later, I received a letter. It was from Malik. He had grown up and found out where I was. He wanted to meet. My heart raced as I read his words. The hope that had been buried deep inside me began to rise. Would he forgive me? Would he understand why I did what I did? The day Malik arrived was filled with mixed emotions. Seeing him walk towards me, now a grown man, brought tears to my eyes. He stood in front of me, and I could see the pain and questions in his eyes. "Why did you give me away, Mama?" he asked, his voice trembling. I told him everything about the struggles, the desperation, and the unbearable choice I had to make. I poured out my heart, hoping he would understand. Malik listened quietly, and when I finished, he took my hands in his. "I don't agree with what you did," he said softly, "but I understand why you did it." Our reunion was bittersweet, filled with tears and forgiveness. It would take time to rebuild the bond we once had, but I was determined to make it right. I had learned the hard way that family is more important than anything else. As the years passed, we slowly healed. Fatima and Ahmed graduated and started their own families. Malik visited often, and each visit was a step towards mending our broken hearts. We learned to forgive, to love, and to cherish each other, and so, our story became one of hope and redemption. Despite the mistakes and the pain, we found our way back to each other. The sacrifices made were never forgotten, but they taught us the true meaning of family. We became stronger, not because of what we had lost, but because of what we had gained: the unbreakable bond of love. One sunny afternoon, Malik surprised us with a visit. He brought along his wife, Aisha, and their little daughter, Zara. Seeing him with his own family filled my heart with joy and pride. We sat under the old mango tree, sharing stories and laughter. For the first time in a long while, our home was filled with happiness. As the sun set, Malik took my hand and led me to a quiet spot in the garden. "Mama," he said, "I want you to be a part of Zara's life. I want her to know her grandmother and hear the stories of our family." Tears welled up in my eyes as I hugged him tightly. The following days were a whirlwind of joy. Zara brought a new light into our lives. She was curious and full of energy, always asking questions about the village and our traditions. I loved telling her stories about her father and our family history. Each story brought us closer, bridging the gap that years of separation had created.
One evening, as we sat by the fire, Zara asked about Malik's childhood. Malik looked at me, and I nodded, knowing it was time to share our past. With gentle words, we told her about the difficult times, the choices made, and the sacrifices endured. She listened intently, her eyes wide with wonder. "Grandma," she said softly, "you are very brave. You did what you thought was right for your family." Her words, simple yet profound, touched my heart. In that moment, I realized that the pain and regret of the past were being transformed into lessons of strength and resilience for the next generation. As years went by, our family grew stronger. The bond between us deepened, forged through forgiveness and understanding. We celebrated each other's successes and supported one another through challenges. Malik and I often talked about the past, but now our conversations were filled with hope and gratitude. One day, Malik approached me with an idea. "Mama, let's start a foundation in our village," he said. "A place where children can get an education without the struggles we faced." His words filled me with pride. Together, we worked tirelessly to establish the foundation. It became a beacon of hope for many families, ensuring that no one else would have to make the choices we did. Our story, once filled with sorrow and sacrifice, had transformed into one of hope and renewal. The love and bond of our family had triumphed over adversity, and our village flourished as a result. And so, we lived on, cherishing the lessons learned and the love that bound us together. Our journey was far from perfect, but it was ours, and it taught us the true meaning of family. We embraced the future with open hearts, knowing that, no matter what, we would always have each other